What's up, guys? So today we're going to be working on the $800 GS300. So let me show you what that looks like. Hear a lot of cars noises. You know, I live off of a main street, so we got a lot of cars passing by. Yeah, there it is, $800 Lexus Gs300. Yeah, my other one back there, that's a custom one that we're working on. You'll see more of that a little bit later on. So you're probably asking, why am I calling it an $800 Gs300? So bought this car off of Craigslist for $800. No, it's pretty clean. Interior's dirty, but overall for $800, not bad. Got my tools. So for $800, what's wrong with it? For starters, had a few check engine light. Had a check engine light with a few codes. So first problem was the throttle was no response. So you have an electric motor here, throttle position here, and then this is your actual throttle cable from your pedal. That right there, it's all electronic. If the motor's not working, you won't get that. You will only get this last 10% there. I don't know if you can hear that. So when the car is in limp mode, it shuts down the power to basically all the electronics here and just gives you that last 10% or 5%, whatever it is, just to get you off the road safely. So the codes that I was getting, I'm not going to get into specifics about them. I'll leave them in the description because I don't have the paper with me. But 5 of them were for the mass airflow sensor and the air temperature, which both are in here. They're both on the same sensor. So I replaced that, cleared them, that got rid of that. Now I was left with a heavy misfire. So the heavy misfire, luckily I have my other GS in the garage that's the same year. So instead of wasting money buying part per part, what I did was, the issue was, let's just start with the issue. That way we're not getting all bottled up. So the issue with the misfire was misfire cylinder 1 and 6. If you look here, that's 6, closest to the firewall. So this is the coil. This cable goes to cylinder 1. So this coil generally sparks cylinder 6 and 1. So my misfire was 1 and 6, so you would say, okay, well, it's the coil, right? Well, that wasn't the case. Previous customer replaced all the coils brand new. So, you know, just to verify, I replaced this one off my working car, and same problem. Also spark plugs, I replaced all the spark plugs, still same problem. Another thing was the igniter. Maybe it's the igniter, right? Replace the igniter off mine, no problem. Same thing, still misfiring. Someone also told me the VVT-I valve. Took that out, replaced it with my other working one, same issue. Also took out the screen that sits inside, and it was pretty clean. Still cleaned it out, still same problem. So my last resort was the computer. Took the computer out, replaced it with my other GS, and following that I had to do the immobilizer and the actual key slot. Just sounds very hard, but it takes about maybe 15-20 minutes for each car. Swap those over, same problem, still starts, but heavy misfire, cylinder 1 and cylinder 6. So the next thing is the timing. So on the timing, well, I already moved it, but so let's see if I can see here. Let's see here. All right. So that's your crank pulley. A little hair right there. There's your crank pulley. Let's see here. That right there, that little metal thing in there. This is your crank position sensor. Pretty much what that one does, it reads off these little teeth back here. So on this car, I've already turned it, but on this car, one of these teeth tooth, whatever you want to call them, it's broken off. So, broken off, reading incorrectly, sends the unit to the computer. Now the computer doesn't know what's going on. There's a broken tooth, doesn't know what's going on. This is not reading the pulse correctly, and there you go. Well, I hope there you go. So that's what we're gonna do. See you guys. Well, that's the other GS I'm working on. So that's what we're gonna do this thing here. So I bought this pulley off of eBay. Original Lexus wanted 162 bucks. I got it on eBay for about 40 bucks, I think it was. There it is. These little teeth. I have no idea why one of them is broken on that car. So yeah guys, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start taking this thing apart right quick. Let's take it apart. I'm gonna set the camera up on a tripod, and hopefully that'll be the issue. So let's get started. Alright guys, so here under the car right now. So it's the gear. Tensioner goes here. It's just two 12mm bolts. Take off the tensioner, that releases the tension off the pulley to allow the belt to slip off. That's the pulley that we need to remove. So this little 10mm bolt needs to get loose. You gotta loosen it up, take it off, and this clip allows it so that this whole gear doesn't slip off. So right now we're gonna take that one off. I already loosened it up, so I don't know, whatever. I just screwdriver pry it off a little bit. But you know, it's funny, you know, because I'm looking at this sensor here, crankshaft position sensor. So it's been replaced, it's new. So whatever other mechanic shop they took it to actually replace that and the coil and everything has to do with the ignition system, I still couldn't figure it out. But they didn't look at the gear. But then again, why would they, right? You know, it's kind of, you know, why would the gear be bad? It's metal, it's a steel gear. And of course, what's a car repair without a trip to the AutoZone? Got the pulley, got the puller, bolts don't match. Every set, I have 3 sets of those pullers. None of them for metric. Toyotas are metric, just so you know, Japanese cars. So, here we go, AutoZone.
A few moments later.
Alright guys, we are back. We just went to the AutoZone and I've got hopefully what we needed. So the bolts that I had were not long enough to get it on the puller. In case you're wondering, if you're gonna do the job, what size bolt you need. That's let me see, M6 by 1.00. That's a thread size, and 45 millimeters. I'm not sure if that's gonna be long enough, but if you see me using them, that's what you need, 45 millimeters. Alright guys, so I'm gonna give you a secret on taking this off very quickly. A lot of people don't know this trick, so everybody would just normally just pull it. The secret is lighter fluid and a lighter. What you want to do is, just kidding guys, what you want to do is just get your WD-40, spray some on the pulley. Sorry, kind of running out a little bit, but just spray the pulley a little bit down. That way, when it comes out nice and easy. So yeah, that's all you gotta do. Don't use this, guys. I was just joking around. Unless you want to set the whole car on fire because you can't get it fixed. Alright guys, so I got the pulley puller on there. Whatever you guys want to call it. Crank pulley, puller, whatever. So, yeah, those 45mm bolts that I told you might not work, they actually did work. So those just go threaded into the pulley itself. Get held on here. Then so just crank it here. It's already tight. And it's gonna start pulling. Alright, so let me just start doing this. I only have 2 hands. And show you what the broken tooth looks like. Alright, so got the old timing gear off, or crankshaft gear pulley. There's a broken tooth right there. Alright guys, also real quick, this is a tensioner for the tensioner for the timing belt. So this thing is hydraulic. This little pin's supposed to be pushing out on the actual pulley. This is just the tensioner itself. On the actual pulley, that tensions the actual belt. You might be asking yourself, why do I have this on here? Well, when you take this off, the pin extends all the way out. So in order to get this to retract all the way in, so you can set this in place without having the tension, use this guy. Just a regular C-clamp. Put it on there like that. Slowly start tightening up little by little. Slowly, just maybe half a turn. And wait about maybe 5-10 seconds. Half a turn. Wait about 5-10 seconds. Because what's happening is the oil is kind of flowing up to the top part, allowing that plunger to come in. As soon as you get all the way in here, this plunger, there's a hole in there as well. And this is just a rod, pretty much. What's the Allen key? But they have pins for this. I think it comes when you buy a brand new one. This was brand new. It was installed by somebody else, but obviously I don't have a pin for it since I bought the car used. So yeah, what I did is I just got an Allen key that fits in the hole, compressed it, put the pin in there, put this in the car, put your bolts in. Then once you put your timing belt and you know you're right, you're pretty much happy with your settings. You pull, all the pressure pushes this, pushes the pulley, that's how you get your belt tension. Alright guys, got the new pulley in. See down there. So tensioner is back on in place. Still got the pin, or in my words, my pin is an Allen key. Still got that, so there's no tension on there yet. The way to align this is, well, the way that I did it, since I know the belt is fairly new, because I have documentation of the previous owner, the paperwork that he had, that the car had a timing belt done not so long ago. So I'm going to use the same belt. Also, the tensioner looks pretty brand new when I took it off. And also the crank position sensor was also new. And now a new crank pulley. So the way that I did it is I lined it up to top dead center before I started taking apart the belt. So there's a little mark right there. See it? There's a dot right there. You don't want to use the dots. You want to use the lines. It's like a little slot right there. That one, and on the VVT-I valve, there's also one. So this VVT-I valve, when the belt's off, it'll spin. It'll go lock. I think it's like 30 degrees. You want to turn it all the way to the right. Right lock. If that makes any sense, you turn it right, lock, and then you line up this little line, that little hump, this little line, that little hump, and on the crank, well, let me see if I can get this. Yeah. Crank pulley, still a little dot. It's kind of hard to do with my fingers, but yeah, there's a dot right there. That little dot and then there's a line on the pulley itself. So yeah, line up that line with a dot. There's a dot over there. You don't want to do the dot. You want to do the line with a dot. And then you come up to your cams. Line, lump, line, lump. The way that I did it, since I'm going to use a belt again, I just marked everything, even though I already know how to do it. So I marked this line right there, this line right there, so I know my belt is going to go in the same place once I put it on. I'm not going to be one too off or whatever. And same goes for the pulley, but since I marked it on the old pulley, I just transferred it. So it's on the bottom side. So that's RAM. So in order to tension this, like I said, talked about a little bit earlier, just pull my pin. See how that tensioned up? Yeah, that's good right there. Very minimal slack. Right there's good. Right there's good. Now to start putting on the covers. Before I start doing that, another thing I want to tell you, see this? This is a guide for the belt. Not really a guide, but it keeps it in place. You want to do it so that it bends outward. Just gonna go like that so it doesn't damage the belt. See that? Nope. We'll start putting together some of these covers, put the pulleys back on, and see if this thing will work.
6.5 hours later.
Alright guys, so it is later on in the day today. It's a little bit night, as you can see in the background. So put everything back on together, and I'm gonna go ahead and start the car now and see if it actually works now. Let's see the key. There it is. No idle problems. No misfire, no check engine light. That's awesome.